What's up, YouTube? This is Frank Ninja here with another Monday recap of the Green Bay Packers falling a win over the New York Giants 31-13. This is probably won't be that long of a video, mainly because the only really important thing to really talk about coming away from this game is the fact that we won. This was another road win, which is good for the Packers, but not exactly the greatest opponent when it comes to the Giants, but nonetheless, a W. It's important to get the W, especially to retain our first place in the NFC North and to continue to battle on with the best record in NFC. But nonetheless, this was a game that the Packers needed to win to get back on track after getting that beatdown they took last week against the 49ers. After that game, I had a lot of questions on just the overall physicality and toughness of this Packers football team because if they can't go out west into San Francisco and be able to physically match teams like the 49ers, then there's just no chance in hell we can make a really deep run into the playoffs. The best chance and scenario for the Packers to get far in the playoffs is to continue battling for that bye week, either with a number one seed or a number two seed, which is really important, especially when you consider tonight's game against the Seahawks and the Vikings. Now, if the Seahawks win, it helps their chances more get a 1 seed. And so a lot of people be like, okay, well then wouldn't it be best if the Vikings win? No, I don't want to see the Vikings win in any type of scenario. So it'd be better for them to lose. That way we have a 2 game lead over them. They drop to 8-4 while we sit at 9-3. So excuse me. Well, I said 2 games. Yeah. I mean, I say two because even if we would win, they would. You get the point. But yeah. As far as this game versus the Giants, Matt LaFleur in the offense definitely looked a lot more better. I mean, it helps when you're playing against a team with Giants who have one of the worst passing defenses in the league. They could, as such, the play calling was a lot more aggressive. You saw the offense take a lot more shots down the field, which I don't think that was just simply Matt LaFleur calling for that. I think it was definitely Aaron Rodgers as well, because we all know Aaron Rodgers loves those big plays downfield. He loves it. He likes to throw the ball long, and there's nothing wrong with that. You want your offense to be capable of making big plays when you need it. So I definitely saw both him and getting a lot more aggressive out there. For first right away in the game, the first quarter ended with both teams scoring 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's going with 3 touchdowns being scored between the two teams, two on our side, one on their side. It almost looked like this game was going to be a shootout, which I did not like at all because I know that the Packers defense is not very good. we just, but So I didn't want to get into no type of shootout with the Giants, and thankfully that did not happen. But the first quarter, the Packers offense looked all right. The run blocking wasn't very good. I mean, the run blocking. I just want to say, just it hasn't been good at all these last few weeks. They had just been really struggling to make great any type of really holes and lanes for Aaron Jones to really wiggle through and get to pick up some yards. Jamal Williams, even when he was carrying the ball, he had to really pick up yards just mainly on his size and toughness alone. So the run blocking really needs to get better. Alan Lazard, he had a really good game. He caught 3 passes for 100 yards, plus yards, and 1 touchdown. He had that big catch down I think it was in the first quarter. That was a touchdown catch, and then he had a couple of tough catches on third down situations that kept the chains going. So he's definitely a guy that we have to keep giving more opportunities to, especially if we can't really find what we really need out of the guys like Geronimo and Marquez and Kumros and even Jimmy Graham. So we can't really find what we need out of those guys and just only rely on Devontae. We needed somebody to really be able to, somebody else in the offense to make plays when they get the chances. And Alan Hazard, I think, has made best out of his opportunities. I would have loved it if Rodgers would have been trying to target him even more last week, because like I said, it was one play where he had beat Sherman on the snap, and Rodgers just completely missed him. But you know what? Sometimes it's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as the offense goes, the offense again, it scored quick 14 points in the first quarter, with Giants able to respond with their own touchdown pass. The big Kevin King getting beat very badly on that touchdown. I mean, the dude is always falling for these double moves. It's like I don't know what it is about him. He just gets flat footed every time these receivers make double moves. So if I'm opposing teams, you look at that footage, you look at number 20, you just see how much he bites on inside moves and then gets beaten on the outside. It just can't keep watching that, man, because he just gets beat on that type of route all the time, man. So after going up 14-7, and excuse me, after we respond and go up 14-7, then the second quarter was kind of an situation for the Packers. Our drives were stalling. We weren't moving the ball that well. The Giants, on the other hand, they started getting more better into a rhythm. Daniel Jones was making a lot of really good throws. And on top of the fact that they had a really long play drive, I think that lasted at least about almost 10 minutes. The Giants went on a long drive in the second quarter that lasted almost 10 minutes, and it was at least about 17, 18 plays. Thankfully, that drive ended with just a field goal. But I'm telling you, man, even against bad football teams, the Packers cannot be giving up drives like this. You got to be able to get off the field. Like I know the Giants were going, they were going for fourth down. They went to fourth down on every time on that drive until they got in the red zone. We held them to the field goal. But the Packers defense has got to make better plays than that. They got to get off the field and get the offense back more and more chances with the football. You cannot be allowing bad teams to a previously 2-9 team like the Giants to be putting together long play drives like that. That's just unacceptable. Thankfully, I think it happened only once the game, so that was good. After holding them to the field goal, the Packers will get the ball again at the end of the second, before the first half ended. Excuse me. And after securing the ball for the first half, before the first half ended, the Packers did absolutely nothing with it. We barely moved anywhere. There was just not like that was probably one of the worst drives we had in the game. The drive right before the end of the first half, that was probably one of the worst drives for the Packers all game. This Rodgers was just missing throws. The ball was slipping out of his hands. The weather was playing a big factor in this game. I mean, the game started off looked like it was just gonna be a little snow, and then all of a sudden the snow just came pouring down towards the end of the first quarter, and it was just snowy all for the rest of the game, which is great. You know, if you like watching snowy football games, I do as well. That's great, but then you got to remember what the conditions that these guys are playing in now. As such, a lot of times the ball was just slipping out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. He was missing throws that he easily makes to Devontae a couple of times. So that was frustrating. As such, the first half ends with us absolutely no points, and we only had a 17 to 10 over the New York Giants. The Packers then received the second half kick, and we still don't do nothing with that drive. And I'm like, what the hell is it going to take? You know, it's even when you're playing a bad football team like the Giants, it is mind boggling how much the offense just continues to struggle to keep drives going, and how we're always finding ourselves in third down and long situations and failing to convert. It's very frustrating and annoying. Annoying, it really is. I am trying my hardest to be patient with the offense week after week after week, and yeah, I just keep being disappointed off these little things. Well, not maybe not like little things. It's just really important things like converting on third downs, like sustaining a drive, putting together long play drives to keep our opposing team's offense off the field, and give our defense a breather. But a lot of times that's not the case, and even against a bad team like the Giants, we saw still those problems going on. Now I get it. I know it's the NFL, so you can't be expecting offense to always have it going every time. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is in these type of situations, when you're constantly facing them and you're failing to finally really get it going, especially when we're in third down long situations, then that's the problem. And we're fortunate enough to have been playing a team like the Giants. Otherwise, if there's been teams like the 49ers like we saw last week, we would have been in big trouble. Obviously. So, like I said, getting the W was the most important thing, and playing a team like the Giants on the road was was exactly the game we needed to get back on winning track. But the Packers have got to prove that they can win tough games like this, but against better opponents. Like I winning a road game against the Giants, winning road games against the Bears with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback, or even the Cowboys. And I think what was the other bad team we played on the road? I can't remember. But when we're playing on the road against teams like the 49ers, or we play the Chargers, who aren't exactly having that great of a year. Or we're on the road, let's say we go to the road against Kansas City or whoever. Packers have got to prove they can play better, especially when they're on the road like that against better football competitions. And that's the thing that I'm waiting for and looking for out of this Packers team. Can they match the physicality of some of the other better teams in the NFL? I honestly don't think they can. I honestly don't think they can. But as such in the second half, sorry, I went on a little tirade right there. Second half comes, and the Giants pretty much their offense fell flat. Daniel Jones pretty much started looking like a rookie quarterback. He was making a lot of bad decisions with the football. He was missing some of his guys who were coming open. Even Shepard, who he was targeting a lot this game. Saquon Barkley, he had a quietly good game for the most part. I mean, we didn't really let him affect the game too much, and I just really think it comes down to the Giants not giving him the football enough and not running the ball enough, especially against a Packers defense that's not good against the run. But they didn't rely on Saquon Barkley that much. But when he did get the ball, he made the best out of his opportunities. He even had one big run towards the end of the game, but at that point, the game was pretty much over. Daniel Jones ended up ending the game with 3 picks. These were just some really bad throws he made. One was by Kevin King, who surprisingly held on to the football. Another was the Donner Savage, where he just completely overthrew his wide receiver, and it fell right into Donner Savage's lap. And the other one was the Tramon Williams, who pretty much just ran the route and just outraced the wide receiver to the football. That was just funny as hell. So Daniel Jones for him as a quarterback, he's got long ways to go as a professional quarterback. I mean, I know a lot of people were hyping the hell out of him when he first came in and took over Eli, but he's completely been brought back down to earth. I think pretty much the hype train is over with. You see what quarterback he is at the moment, and we'll just see what he transforms into following the next couple of seasons if he still remains a starter. So that's pretty much all I got as far as Daniel Jones and offense goes. And yeah, overall, I think at the end of the day, this was just the right game to play to get back on the winning ways. The Packers now improved to 9-3, and the Vikings we're back. We're not tied with the Vikings right now. We're first place in NFC North once again, and now the Vikings are playing the Seattle Seahawks tonight. As I said at the beginning of this video, it's more important for the Packers if the Vikings lose. Period. Point blank. I don't care if I don't care if it hurts our chances to get a bye week. I don't care. Because Seattle, those guys and the 49ers and them, they're gonna be playing each other a lot. They're gonna be playing each other in division games a lot towards the end of the season. So you never know what might go in that situation. But as far as our situation goes, we need the Vikings to lose. Yeah, right. We need them to lose. We need to win this division, and it just might ultimately come down to when we have to play the Vikings on the road, which scares the hell out of me. But that really scares the hell out of me. But I'm looking at the playoff. I'm looking at the NFC playoff picture. The best chances for the Packers to get a number one seed is if the Chicken Hawks and the 49ers trade with each other, and with the 49ers beating the Seahawks the next time around. Both those teams, the winner at either of those divisions, coming out of the division with only at least with 3 or 4 losses, and we win out the rest of our games. That's the best. Those are Packers' best chances of getting by. Because I really don't see the Saints falling off at any point. I mean, let me look at the Saints schedule real quick. I don't really see the Saints falling off at any point in time. Like right now, obviously they're currently first in the AFC. So excuse me, not the AFC, the NFC. They got the 49ers next. That's gonna be a really big game. Uh, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. New. What's the Saints record? Hold on. They're 10-2, right? Or 11-1. I think they're 10-2. Yeah, because they lost that game. They lost that game to the Falcons and the Rams. Those are the only 2 games they lost. Okay. All right. So right now the Saints they're gonna have a big game against the 49ers next week. That's gonna be a huge game. And then they gotta go. Then they're still at home against the Colts. Then they finish the season on the road in Tennessee and in Carolina. That Tennessee game could be a trap game. I'm just saying the Titans have been playing better football lately these couple weeks, and it's a road game. But I mean, granted, the Saints still might easily come out with that win, but I wouldn't sleep on the Titans. And then they gotta go on the road against the Carolina Panthers, who really blew last week. They really should have beat the Saints last week, and they just completely blew it. So there's no way. I don't expect them to beat the Saints. So the Saints realistically might not lose another game for the rest of the season, unless they drop a game to 49ers next week. So we just gotta wait and see. But overall, the Packers they're in control of their own destiny at this point. And we want that bath. We just gotta win out, and hopefully one of these teams in the NFC ends up with at least 4 losses, and and we win out the rest of our games. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got. Peace.